Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mooney.
I'm Priscilla Casper. Today marked the second execution in Arizona in just the last month. Frank Atwood was sentenced to death in 1987 for the kidnapping and murder of Vicki Lynne Hoskinson, an 8-year-old girl from Tucson.
Atwood was pronounced dead a little after 10 this morning. News 4 Tucson's Chorus Nylander has been in Florence all day and joins us live once again with the latest. Chorus.
Yeah, well, Sean, tonight it's a new chapter for the family of Vicki Lynne Hoskinson, turning the page on Frank Atwood at 10:16 this morning. Atwood was declared dead, executed by lethal injection. It was a legal process that took nearly 38 years to carry out. Atwood was convicted and sentenced to death in 1987 for the murder of Vicki Hoskinson in 1984. She was only 8 years old. Even though this was certainly a welcome day, the family and victim advocates say it took way too long for them to receive justice.
Throughout this process, there were at least 90 events that triggered delay. For decades, it would be fair to say that the criminal justice system failed Vicki's family. That changed today. This process is finally over.
Atwood maintained his innocence throughout all of this, going to his grave without admitting any guilt and without an apology to Vicki's family. Reporting from Florence, Chorus Nylander, News 4 Tucson.
Thank you, Chorus. News 4 Tucson's Lupita Murillo has been covering this story since the day Vicki Lynne first vanished nearly 4 decades ago. And she was one of the witnesses at the execution today. She joins us live from the Arizona State Prison in Florence with more on the family's reaction to today's events. Lupita.
Since 1984, when Vicki Lynne Hoskinson disappeared from her Flowing Wells neighborhood, the family has been fighting for justice. Today at the Arizona State Prison complex in Florence, justice was carried out. 66-year-old Frank Atwood was executed for kidnapping and killing the precious blue-eyed freckled 8-year-old. Debbie Carlson told us in an earlier interview Atwood's execution would at least bring some closure.
Vicki's not going to be back. But what it does, it stops him from filing any more motions. It stops him from filing the AG's office or whoever calling us, we've got to go to court, we have this, we have that. We have lived like that for 37 and a half years. I'm 67 years old. I've spent more than half of my life fighting for justice for my daughter.
The family feels it was a battle well fought. Debbie tells us that from this day forward, they will not be mentioning Frank Atwood's name at all. Instead, they're going to concentrate on Vicki and all the good she stood for. Reporting live from Florence, Lupita Murillo, News 4 Tucson.
Thank you, Lupita. And as we just heard, Vicki Lynne's mother, Debbie, waited almost 38 years to get justice for her little girl. As she spoke at a press conference this morning, only minutes after her daughter's convicted killer was executed. News 4 Tucson's Eric Fink continues our team coverage tonight on Tucson's northwest side. Eric.
Priscilla, Vicki Lynne was a student here at Homer Davis on the northwest side. She was born February 2nd, 1976, Groundhog Day. Her mother says in Vicki Lynne's 8 years, she made a lasting difference.
When Vicki was little, she had a hard time pronouncing her G's, and she called it Hound Dog Day. This stuck and is how our family to this day refers to it.
A flood of emotions and memories coming back for Debbie Carlson as she and her family waited almost 4 decades for justice. Vicki Lynne had just started 3rd grade when she disappeared on that September day in 1984. Her mom says Vicki loved her Nana's tacos, and her little girl's love of softball was evident.
Vicki was a vibrant little girl with an infectious laugh and a smile that would melt your heart. Her royal blue eyes reflected an old soul of wisdom, and her freckled nose was unique, and we are blessed to see it in our grandchildren today.
The Tucson community was forever changed after what happened to Vicki Lynne Hoskinson. More than 37 years after she was killed, on the day her killer met his fate, Debbie showed both the pride and the pain she feels every day.
Vicki, you made a difference. The lives you saved, the hearts you touched, we'll never know. I hope you're proud of us and how we've carried on your legacy.
And we'll have more with Vicki Carlson as she remembers her daughter on this day, coming up at 10 o'clock. We're live on the northwest side at Homer Davis Elementary School. I'm Eric Fink, News 4, Tucson.